Hey, if you own a carpet cleaning business and you want to book more jobs right now, then you need to watch this video with Damon and Alister and me, where we talk about how you can book more jobs right now for your carpet cleaning business. There's a lot of things you can do if you're not getting enough business right now, if you don't have enough customers coming in. We're going to get into some of the specifics about things that you can actually do on a day-to-day basis to book more jobs, things that you can control versus things that are out of your control, right? If you're struggling right now, if you're not getting enough work on your schedule, if you're not growing your business as quickly as you want to, then hopefully this will help you. So go check this out. This is from my live stream with Damon and Alister just a week ago. I'm reposting it here on YouTube because I think it's going to be helpful for you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If it was helpful, hit like. If you want to grow your cleaning business, hit subscribe. You can go to bookcleaningjobs.com and request help if you need help from us directly. But go check this out. I hope this video is helpful to you.
Thanks, gentlemen, for joining us. It's short notice. I reached out to both of you just 2 days ago, and you're kind enough to agree to jump in. Reuben, tell us very quickly who you are, what you're doing, and then Alister, you can follow.
Sure thing. So my name is Reuben Rock. I run a company called BookCleaningJobs, and we help carpet cleaners book more jobs with marketing plans that include websites, SEO, with a focus on Google Ads. So if you're not advertising yet, then we can help you get on Google and get in front of customers quickly. So that's what I do.
Cool.
Alister.
My name is Alister Shirazi. I started out owning my own home service company, and now I help other people kind of dial in their marketing, and not just in home service. Home service is just carpet cleaning, but just all different businesses in general. I've grown my business using door-to-door and also on Facebook and online marketing. Facebook's kind of my main thing. I used to run Facebook ads for people, but now I teach people how to run their own Facebook ads. And I feel like that's much more empowering way to help people. Yeah, that's what I do. Do some carpet cleaning, a lot of exterior cleaning. But yeah, these days I'm helping more people grow their businesses than run my own. Although my own business is still running. I have 4 or 5 employees. We'll do like probably $750,000 in revenue this year, something like that. And
that's awesome. So both Alister and Reuben have done interviews with me on the InCap Store YouTube channel. You can see them both there. They both had great information they shared. Reuben's was about 3 weeks ago. I think Alister was about 3 months ago. Wow. But they're definitely both worth checking out. Yeah. And the reason I asked them to come on today is because as a distributor, I talk to a lot of cleaners. Every day I'm talking to cleaners. And a lot of them, they're not going to say it on social media, but a lot of them have really slowed down the last couple of months, particularly in May. We're halfway through May, but even in April, a lot of them experienced slowdowns, and some of them are getting concerned, which is understandable. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity to talk about what cleaners can do to get the phone to ring, because the one theme I'm hearing from everybody is just the calls have stopped, right? And so what can we do to help them to get more calls? What can you do to get more calls for your business? And that's going to be the theme of this discussion. And people that are watching, we have people trickling in now that are watching us. If you have questions, feel free to ask questions while we're chatting here. But Reuben, let's start with you. If a cleaner approaches you and says, hey, I haven't gotten a call in 3 days or 4 days, I'm really concerned. I don't have anything in the pipe. I don't have anything quotes out there. I'm not hearing anything. What are you going to tell them?
Yeah. If it's somebody that I'm not working with currently, I think I really would like to get an understanding of what they're currently doing to market their business, because I think from talking with, I don't even know how many carpet cleaners in the last year or two over the phone. I do a lot of phone calls with cleaners. Usually what I uncover is that there's a hodgepodge of marketing in place. Sometimes there's some kind of marketing in place, but a lot of times when you really uncover the truth, there's really not a lot of marketing in place. There's kind of some referrals trickling in, some word of mouth, but no consistent stream of leads coming in from either Google, Facebook, even Yelp or Angie or neighborhood groups or anything like that. I think in a lot of cases I talk with cleaners and they just don't really have a plan on how to get the jobs. And so when things slow down, they really notice that it slows down because their phones completely stop ringing. They don't have a way to get in front of the people that are still out there searching to get carpet cleaning if they're not running any ads on Google. If they're not running any ads on Facebook, they're not reaching people in their local area who could potentially be interested in their services or in an offer. When I hear people say that it's slowed down, I think the first thing I usually try to do is dig in and find out what they're currently doing for marketing. Because in a lot of cases, there's things that you can control that would actually help you get back on your feet quickly and actually get you those jobs coming in, regardless of what's going on in the economy, regardless of what you're hearing in Facebook groups or from other cleaners or other business owners in your area, I've been hearing for, I don't know how many years now, that it's a recession, that we're in a recession, that a recession's coming, that it's slow. I hear this all the time from cleaners, and I've been doing this for a number of years now. And there's always things that you can do to control the situation in order and to bring in more jobs. And so usually I just try to focus on what are you currently doing that could potentially bring you a customer today, and what could you be doing, right? That's where I try to steer the conversation. I try not to dwell on doom and gloom, the economy's falling apart and my business is never going to have customers again, because that's typically not the truth. I don't think I've ever met a cleaner who's just, their phone just stopped ringing one day and never rang again. And they just said, I guess I'm out of business now. There's usually something you can do to get customers coming in.
Alister, what was your course of action be, or what would your approach be to somebody asking you that question?
Yeah. First, it looks like I'm able to live stream to Facebook.
You can do it, I think, on your personal page, but not in a group.
Let's
Either
see.
your
I just
business
posted
page or your personal page.
I just posted the live onto your group, so let's just see how it goes. But yeah, I did my personal page, and I'm gonna try to share it to your group. Let's just see how it goes. Anyway, so how do you stay busy? I think first of all is to stop making excuses. I think there's always things that can be done. There's always actions that can be taken. It's so easy to just blame the economy or to blame external factors. But the reason why, for example, my business is going to do better this year than it did last year, and we're just about double where we are this year compared to last year, is because there's so much internal things that you can still do before you reach that steady state where things like seasonality are even a factor. Seasonality might be like 10% of your total amount of sales, but like things that are in your control have 1,000 impact on the results that you make. But first, internalize and take control and realize there's things you can do. I always like to think, if I had to make this work, if my family's hungry, my kids need to eat, there's no excuses in this world, I need to make something happen today, what would I do? And if you frame it like that, I guarantee you start to come up with crazy ideas and things that might actually work for you. One of those things for me was to actually just get outside. There's only so much you can do when you're in your home, in front of your computer, behind your keyboard. Getting out in front of people, knocking doors is one of the scary things that people try to avoid doing. And in general, if there's something scary that you're avoiding to do, there's probably something and some importance that you need to, that's why you need to do it, is because it's scary. For example, there was this time last summer, I don't know if it was last summer or the summer before that, when I was just starting out my business. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go knock some doors today. I've seen these people on TikTok and on Instagram knocking doors and making money. I'm going to get out there and just start knocking and see what happens. And the first couple doors that you knock are very intimidating. But once you knock 3 or 4 doors, you're like, okay, I'm just knocking doors now. I'm going door to door, and you don't even want to stop. And the crazy thing is, as soon as I got over that like initial fear of getting out there and knocking doors for the first time, that day of knocking doors, I was out there for probably 3 or 4 hours, and I booked $3,000 worth of work. And there were like 5 people that I signed up and given estimates to, and it was like $3,000 worth of work. And I was like, dang.
As I recall, yeah. And just to be clear, they all didn't book right away. They were leads basically that you followed up on. And then
actually, no, they all booked right away.
Okay.
Yeah,
great.
That's the objective. I can go into the process maybe a little bit later or showing now, but the objective when you're knocking doors is to get a commitment and actually book that job right away. And if they don't book, obviously I'll follow up with them, but that's the objective, is to book. And I did actually. And then the other thing that I would do, same thing with commercial. You go out there, you shake hands. I'm working with a client that does like Rex Pro stuff and like Thailand Growl. Actually, I don't know if you guys know him. His name's Leo. At least he's in Kapalooza. But he walked into a gas station and the owner loved what Rex Pro does and sent a video to them. And he like knows the owner of 750 gas stations. And now he's looking at quoting out 50 gas stations for this owner of these different things. It was all because he allowed it to happen to him, because he got out and put himself in front of somebody. Number one is just getting out and stop making excuses and figuring out like what you can do. One last thing is, when we start to say, a lot of times we start telling ourselves dead end statements instead of asking green light questions. So what's a dead end statement? Dead end statement is something like, I can't get jobs right now, or I can't afford to advertise. When you tell yourself you can't do something, all of a sudden all of your brain stops putting any energy towards solving that problem. But when you start asking green light questions, things like how can I make my phone ring, or how can I afford to market, or how can if I needed to make this happen, what would I do? Now your brain starts problem solving. But if you say you can't, or if you start making these excuses for yourself, then all of a sudden it's just not, your brain stops thinking about solutions, and that's the end of the line right there.
I agree. Reuben, let's talk about the digital side here for just a moment, and then we'll get back to Alister more on the door-to-door. But a lot of cleaners at this point should be keeping some sort of information on the customers, right? Phone numbers and email addresses, obviously a name, minimum, those three things, right? You can send an email blast right away, correct?
Yeah.
And a lot of tools, you can do it for free. What do you think would be an appealing message in an email to get that phone to ring
Sure.
without having to give away the form?
Yeah, I think honestly, you might have a better chance of success sending one-to-one emails to your customers rather than sending a blast. It's easy to just try to come up with a quick marketing message and send it out to your entire list. Unless you're sending out something crazy, respond back to me, and I've got 10 coupons on my desk for $20 off carpet cleaning. Respond back to me, and
it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, there you go.
Go ahead.
You can steal that one. Feel free to steal that one. You can send that out to your list, but then you got to give $20 off. But you could reach out to customers one-to-one. I think you'll find that if you do one-to-one outreach to your customers, whether it's by phone, by email, by text, literally go back and see who you cleaned for 6 months ago, go back and see who you cleaned for a year ago, and pull the list of customers from 1 week a year ago or 6 months a year ago, and just start picking up the phone and calling them, or grab their email address and send them an email. If you don't have that kind of thing already automatically programmed using something like House Call Pro or a CRM or something like that, you can do it manually. There's a company that I used to be friendly competitors with in Wisconsin when I was running my cleaning business, that they really didn't run any kind of advertising online. Their website really wasn't all that impressive. They did run some TV ads. And so they spent a lot of money on TV ads, but where they focused most of their efforts was on picking up the phone and calling their former customers. And they would call those customers every single month. If you were a customer of this cleaning company, you were going to get a call from them every month asking if they could come back and clean for you, or if you had anything else that you needed to clean in your house.
And that's exactly what I was actually going to ask you as a follow-up. You never hear about people doing that. Now, Alister has. I'm going to ask Alister about that in a couple of minutes. But calling customers is something you can do legally. You can do as long as they've done business with you within, I think, like a year or something. I have to look it up, but you have a pretty broad window where you can contact them without any repercussions, and they're not going to care anyway. But I think calling customers is a great way just to remind them of who you are and what you're doing, and maybe they have, you have a new service you want to offer. And if you were calling somebody, what would you tell them? What would be your introduction?
I would keep it pretty simple. It's like door knocking. You've already worked with these people though, so it's probably even easier. The truth is you're calling to remind them of who you are, what you did for them last time, when you did it, and asking them if they are ready for you to come back out and clean again. Hey, it's Reuben at ABC Carpet Cleaning. I cleaned for you last May. I was just calling to check in and see how you're doing and see if you need me to come out again this year and do anything for you. We offer tile and grout cleaning now. Maybe that's something you'd be interested in. Simple as that.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be hugely beneficial. And again, not enough cleaners are doing that. I'm going to jump over to you really quick, Alister. You actually do I basically say telemarket or customer follow-up, correct? Via phone or do you still do that? I know you did. I don't know if you still are or if your VA is.
Yeah. So my VA does it, right? But still a big proponent of that. People love to do the automation and think it's sexy. And hey, I'm all for it. I love automation too. But the more personal the approach is going to be, the higher the conversion ratio is going to be. Getting on a phone call and calling the customers that you worked with last year is extremely effective. Your close ratio is going to be higher than if you just send a text message or an email to the same quantity of people. Now, if the bottleneck then becomes time or resources, like you don't have someone to call, then do what you can, maybe send a text message or a phone call. But the most important thing here is being able to have that data at your fingertips. Like I can pull a report of who we serviced 6 months ago within 30 seconds. And if you can't do that, then chances are that's why you're slow, like period. Because you aren't keeping track of that data. You don't have access to that data. And that's your problem. Like it's not Joe Biden or whatever it is you want to blame the external factors on. That's your problem. Yeah, we call the customers and it's as simple as just a reminder. It's just an appointment reminder. It's a courtesy appointment reminder. And you know who's really good at this? And I hate them because they're so good at this is my dentist, right? My dentist, like I don't want to go clean my teeth. I hate the dentist, right? But I know they're just looking out for me. So they give me a call and like every 6 months. And if they didn't call me, I would never go. Okay. I don't like it. So if they didn't like literally strap me into that chair, I wouldn't go. But they call me and they say, hey, it's time for your 6-month cleaning. When would you like to schedule that? It's not even, do you want to schedule it? It's, hey, you need this. And
Yeah, they're assuming the sale.
It's an assumptive sale. Exactly. It's the dentist model. They're calling you for your routine cleaning. And it's not even, since you have a relationship with that person, it's not even a sales call. It's more of just an appointment reminder. It's just a courtesy that you're presenting as part of the service that you offer to the customer to help keep their home clean and hygienic and all that kind of stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to say really quick. I was talking to a friend about this yesterday. It's just funny. Dentistry is basically like the carpet cleaning of medicine. A lot of marketing, they're always looking for new business, drum stuff up. It's funny.
And
chiropractors.
Yeah. Hey, Eric had a great point here. Bring us up really quick before we continue. Voicemail blast. I don't know if Alister, if you use it, or Reuben, do you have any clients that do voicemail blasts? And if so, we found it to be effective.
So I have the capability and I tried it one time. I need to talk to people about this because I know people have success with it and it's worked with me. But so in the software that we use, you can easily send out an audio clip and have it go to somebody as a voicemail. I did it one time to a list of a couple hundred people. And the problem was like, I think it shows for some people, it shows as a missed call. Like it shows as somebody missed their call because like it may have a partial ring. That's what they do, I guess. I don't really know how it works. So when I did it, I got like dozens of people calling me back instantly. And we weren't sure if those people were calling us back to actually book back because they saw that we missed their call. So I know people that have success with it. It's just not something that I specialize in, but I'm curious as to continue to experiment with it. And I'm curious if Reuben, if you had any luck with that.
Yeah, maybe Eric can tell us. I don't know if Eric's doing voicemail blasts now, but maybe he can post in the comments what kind of success he's seen with that. I'm going to bring up another question really quick from Tyler Harris. Which is better, calling or emailing previous customers? I'll start with you, Reuben. What do you think?
Yeah, I think doing both is probably the best. Emailing you can do automatically pretty easily if you're using anything like House Call Pro, High Level. I'm sure Jobber could do it too, or even just your own automated email program. Like the automated emails are an easy appointment reminder, and that's as simple as it needs to be. This is an appointment reminder, or this is a service reminder, right? It's been 6 months since your last service. Give us a call. Spruce up the wording a little bit more than that, obviously. Give them a reason to call you for carpet cleaning. But I think both work. The thing is that most people don't do the calling, period. They really don't. And I would really be curious to hear how the ringless voicemail is going if you've done it, Eric, because I've heard the same thing. I've heard people say that it's great, that they've had success with it. We didn't have success with it in my business when we did it a few years back. I have clients that have talked about doing it and I think a few of them have done it. I don't hear a lot of them doing this consistently. And my guess as to why they're not doing it consistently is that they're probably not getting the results they were looking for. Eric, if you're doing something to get better results with ringless voicemail, I'd love to hear from you because I know you have a very successful business in Boise. I think that the more personalized touch of doing a one-to-one reach out really is going to get you better results, whether you're doing texting, emailing, or phone calling or calling on the phone. But with phone, I really think one-to-one, pick up your phone and call people, and you're going to get better results end of the day. And leave a voicemail. Sure, not everyone's going to answer, but leave them a voicemail.
I have a question on, I don't know how regulated voicemail drops are, if they have to be opted in. I mean, I'll look into it, I guess, after. I'm just curious if either of you.
There are laws. I don't know off the top of my head what the laws are currently because it's changed so much since I was looking into doing this.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Alister, anything to contribute to that?
No.
Actually, I more so to his question. I'm sorry. Which is better, calling or emailing? I'm sure.
Yeah. So my thing about emailing is it can be tricky to have your emails being delivered. That's the one trick. So I've spent a lot of time learning about what it takes to make your emails delivery possible. But a lot of emails just end up in spam, which is one of the problems I've had with emails. And there's a whole science to making it land in the inbox. And that science is above most people's head. But if you have an email platform and your emails are landing and you have a way to track it and see if it's even landing in the promotions or spam or inbox, that's great. But I don't do a whole lot of email for that reason, but yeah, that's just something that I've challenged. The challenge that I've had is getting into actually not being the spam.
I'm going to bring up, okay, I'll just say really quick, I'm going to bring something up from Bill Garlington. He's actually up in Washington as well. Great guy. Some people have full voicemail or don't check it. I believe text after calling would be more effective. Now, let me say very quickly that I got to call customers sometimes, either about like a machine being delivered or any kind of number of issues. And they don't answer my phone call because it's from a 702 area code. And they think it's like a telemarketer or something, which is understandable. So I'll follow up with a text message. And then usually they call back right away. So, Reuben, let's go with you first. What do you think of that, doing a follow-up text after leaving a voicemail, assuming they don't answer the phone? Because Eric made a point earlier, a lot of people don't answer their phones anymore, which is, I think, true in some situations. So are we, we leave a voicemail, then should we follow up with a text?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I want to harp on this point for a moment, though. Everybody these days has their phone turned where it silences unknown callers, right? I feel like most people do that, and then they just don't answer any calls they don't know. Here's the thing. From firsthand experience, you will make a lot more money if you start answering your phone, because you don't know who's calling you and trying to get a hold of you. If it turns out to be a spammer, scammer, whatever, it's easy to just click the button and hang up on them. It's that simple, right? But somebody might actually be trying to reach you. I talk to enough, or I call enough carpet cleaners every week that I know a lot of cleaners out there have full voicemails too. And so your customers are trying to reach you and they're not able to. I think
right.
that calling and then texting right away is a great idea, but it's going to be different from person to person. I have a Gen Z employee who doesn't like to respond to text messages or emails. I think she prefers Slack, or I don't know what she prefers. I've got clients that prefer Facebook message over texting versus phone calls versus, everybody's got their own mode of communication. So it really is about trying to reach your customer any way you can to try to get a hold of them to see if they need you to come back and clean.
Yeah. Alister?
One thing I've been experimenting with, and I think it's been working, where iPhone has this feature. If your first text message says, "This is Alister," or "This is name," your iPhone will pick up that. And then when you call later, it'll say maybe Alister.
Fantastic. Wow. That's a great tip.
Yeah. Have you seen that before? How it says maybe somebody?
No, that's cool though.
Do you have an iPhone or are you an Android guy? Android guy. Okay. So yeah, you wouldn't know what we're talking about, Damon. Sorry. You're out of the club.
Oh,
but hey,
if you're an iPhone guy, I'm sure you can do this on Android too. But my secret move is share your contact card with people. Just text it to them. Have your contact card all filled out with your company name, your email address, your website, your phone number. And then you can share your contact card with customers via text message. You can do it with an NFC tap when you're there in person. But then make sure you get in their phone so they know it's you calling when you call them later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Something from Anthony Klozak, great guy. By the way, I had my automatic scam call block on T-Mobile. That's what I use. And I took it off and realized I had some legit calls I missed. So beware. That's a bigger, broader point. You alluded to that a second ago, Reuben, is cleaners aren't always necessarily very good about answering the phone. And I think a lot of times, I've talked about this in Facebook, they rush calls. They push people along quickly. They're not taking the time to engage with their prospects. Even customers that just ask about price doesn't necessarily mean that they're a price shopper. A lot of times they don't know what questions to ask. You know what I mean? What else are they going to talk about? So I think a lot of times you're in such a rush to get back to the job and get back to the work that you miss on opportunities to convert more calls. So why don't you go ahead and take that from there?
Yeah, no, I'd agree. A little bit of phone etiquette goes a long way. This is a customer service business. People are calling to get their carpets cleaned, obviously, but they know a human being is going to be on the other end of the phone, at least for now, right? Until AI takes over all those jobs. Mm-hmm. But they know a human being is going to come out and clean for them too. And so if you want to book more jobs, answer the phone, people call, be friendly, answer their questions. Damon, you're right. People don't know what to ask when they're calling a carpet cleaner, especially if it's their first time calling to get something cleaned. They don't know what to ask other than what's the price, right? What's included with that? People ask all kinds of questions. Usually they're just trying to get a feel for who you are. Their questions, the answer to those questions may not even be important to them. They just want to get a feel for who you are before they work with you in a lot of cases. So just answer your phone, be friendly, personable. If you miss calls, call them back right away, because speed to lead is like the name of the game. If you don't respond to somebody who's reached out to your cleaning business within 5 minutes, then you lose 80% of those people. 5 minutes later, they are gone. They're calling the next cleaner. They've already talked to the next cleaner and booked something. So yeah, answer your phones.
Yeah.
I'll talk about that for a second, because there's no excuse why you should miss a phone call ever. ever. So I'm going to explain my system. All right. So first of all, I have somebody paid. I have somebody that I pay to answer my phone calls, right? A full-time admin assistant. The second thing I have is an answering service. So House Call Pro offers this really awesome service, and their minimum package is $150 per month. And it includes like 10 or 20 or 30 minutes or something like that of answering service time. And then worst case scenario, if I do miss a call, they get an automatic text message as soon as they miss a phone call. So I have 3 layers of protection to prevent me missing a phone call, missing a job if somebody calls. And some people are like, oh, I don't want to pay $150 per month to have this answering service. If you miss one job from a phone call, that's going to pay for itself instantly. So it's like a no-brainer. As entrepreneurs, you got to change your mind to stop thinking about how much things cost and start thinking about the opportunity cost of not paying for that. So for example, I know that if I spend $150 on this service, then I may book an extra 2-3 jobs per month because I can't miss a phone call. Think about everything as inputs and outputs. And yeah, I wanted to touch on that. But yeah, never miss a phone call. Never ever miss a phone call. You should never miss a phone call. Even if it means somebody to answer your phones. A lot of cleaners, man, they're out on jobs. Hire yourself an assistant. Hire somebody to answer your phone call. Because if you're out on a job and you miss that phone call, that's money. You're paying for the advertising and somebody calls you, but you're busy carpet cleaning. If you're a one-man operation, you're cleaning carpets, you're missing money. Like you 100% are missing out on jobs. You can hire a part-time VA for $500 a month or $300 a month part-time. And that person can help you book those jobs, follow up on leads, answer the phone calls if you can't answer the phone. And that's cash flow in, cash flow out. Like how can you find ways where you can spend money and actually make more money on the other side?
Yeah. Reuben and I oh, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say even better, hire somebody to do the cleaning with you. So when the phone rings, you can step outside.
I was going to say what Reuben and I talked about a couple of weeks ago is, in my opinion, you're better off as soon as possible hiring a tech either to go out on their own or with you, and you work on booking those calls, because to me that's the most important part of the business, keep the schedule full. And
eventually you'll need both. You're going to have to build the team to support the business of your dreams if you're going to build it, right? You can't do it all by yourself.
Yeah.
It's too hard. Being an owner operator is too hard on you. Okay. You'll need to build the team to support your dreams.
I agree. Yeah. We're going to have another statement here from Bill really quick, and then we're going to get a little more detail here on making phone ring more. Anyway, Bill asked if there's an automated voicemail that with partial mixed in and follow text would probably be rock. I'm not aware of any software that offers that at this time. Are either of you? He was asking, hold on, I got to find it again. If there's an automated voicemail system that does the ring mix and all that, the voicemail, and then follows up with the automated text. Yeah, well, I'm not aware of anything that offers that. Are you, Reuben?
Yeah, you can do like a ringless voicemail drop followed by an automated text. You could do it and go high level.
And high level, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Bill? Yeah, there you go. There's your answer. All right. Moving on to making the phone ring now. We talked about emails, which is great. We talked about phone dialing and texting, which is really great. Online resources. So very quickly, Reuben, starting with you. How quickly can someone get a Google campaign going? And that's not easy. It takes work, takes research. That's why they're paying people like you. But if you're going to do a campaign in a roundabout, as best you can explain it in a couple of minutes, what sort of campaign they should be running? Should it be a Google local ad? Should be, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would advise most people, if they're going to start with Google, to do the local services ads, the Google Guaranteed program first. You'll probably hear a lot of negativity about it right now if you talk to other cleaners, because the cost per lead has gotten a little high in some areas. It's extremely competitive in other areas. I've seen markets where there's 20 people who are Google Guaranteed all in the same market trying to get calls that same day. So that is a competitive place in some markets, but it's a great way to get calls directly from Google. It's an easy way to get calls directly from Google. If you don't want to have to figure out how to get your website up to snuff where you could run ads to it, if you don't want to figure out Google Analytics, conversion tracking, if those words sound scary or foreign to you, then Google local services ads is what you're looking for. With that program, you'll get Google Guaranteed, where Google does a background check on you. They will verify that you have insurance. They will verify that you have reviews on your Google business profile. So you need 2 or 3 reviews on your Google business profile. But outside of that, you hand Google a credit card and they will start sending calls to you. Those calls can come in pretty quickly. We've had clients who turn on LSAs and they get calls same day, like within hours of turning on the program. So that's a really good program if you want to drive phone calls to your business. It's pay per call. So you'll pay for each phone call that you get. If you get calls that are people looking for a job or people looking for a concrete company and you're a cleaning company, you can dispute those and you can get your money back. But for the most part, these are people looking for carpet cleaner near me, right, on Google. And they're going to click on your ad, call you directly, and they're looking to book a carpet cleaning. So that's a great program. I'd start there. Google Ads is the next step up. If you are pretty computer savvy, if you've got a great website in place already and you want to give Google Ads a shot, go for it. I watch a lot of cleaners set up campaigns and not find the success they're looking for just because they miss small details with it. So that is a detail-oriented game. If you're going to run Google Ads, make sure that you do everything that you need to do to track conversions. If people are filling out forms on your site, if people are calling you, if people are booking online using House Call Pro or something like that, make sure you can track all that stuff. Otherwise, your ads are not going to work. Google Ads is a great program, though. And that program can deliver people from Google straight to your website who will contact you in need of cleaning services right away. We have clients who sign up with Google Ads and they get leads, bookings within their first week. And by the end of their first 30 days, they've made all their money back and then some. So that's an excellent program. It takes a little bit of investment, though. You really need to have a budget on hand of at least $1,000 a month if you're looking to get into Google Ads. The local plus, if you're going to hire somebody to help you set it up, set aside some money for that too. The local services ads program, that's pay per call. You can put in a weekly budget with that one. And so if you only want to spend $200 a week, $300 a week, $500 a week, $1,000 a week, you can put that budget in. Google may not send you all those calls. They may not spend your whole budget, but those are both good programs if you're looking to drive customers into your business now, and they can both do it pretty quickly.
Yeah, I have a customer who signed up for Google local ads and he started with 1,500 or 2,000 and he hasn't got it, and he's really happy with that. So I think he's paying an average of anywhere from $30 to $60 a call, depending on the time of day and whatever other factors there are. But he's converting them. Alister, I know you do a little bit of everything, including Google and all that as well. But let's talk about Facebook and what people do on Facebook, because it's also effective, but an entirely different animal.
Yeah.
And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's different. Let's talk about like why they're different, right? So you think of what somebody is doing when they go to Facebook. When they go to Google. When they go to Google, they're saying, I need a carpet cleaner. Boom. It's very high intent. And as a result, the cost can be really high. And also, if you don't know what you're doing, you try to do it yourself. Your website has to be perfectly optimized. Your keywords have to be perfect. It takes a longer learning curve and even a longer optimization phase.
Which is where Reuben comes in handy.
Working with a professional is really important. And your cost per click can be very high. And if you aren't converting, then you can go through ad spend really quickly. That's that. And Facebook, right? The reason why it's different is because interruption marketing. Just like watching a TV ad where you're watching entertainment, you're being entertained, and then you're interrupted with entertainment with some kind of product or service. Now, if they click on your ad, the chances are, I'm going to caveat this, but chances are they weren't specifically looking for that product or service. There's a good chance they may have been, because if they interacted with a similar ad, then they're going to get bombarded with similar ads, right? We all know this. If I accidentally, or if I interact with a carpet cleaner's ad, I'm going to get bombarded with dozens of carpet cleaner ads subsequently. But the benefit of that is a couple things. One is it's a whole new market. Okay. So think of it like this. There's a fraction of the market that's going to Google saying, I need carpet cleaning right now. There are other people in that pie of people that need carpet cleaning that are not going there, right? Are not ready at this instant, but maybe they will be ready in a week from now or a few days from now. So you're actually able to get some people before the intent is as high. And so that's actually a benefit. You can be a first mover in that respect. So that being said, you have to understand how to treat Facebook leads, how to treat people that come in through your Facebook portal. They may be lower intent because they may not be ready to buy right now. But the way that I do it is I use Facebook more of a list building. So what I'm doing is and then I have a telemarketing approach on the back end. That's what I'm doing. So I gather a list of people that may be interested, and then we have a telemarketer following up with all these leads and booking appointments and then booking sales. So that's what we do. And that's one of my favorite ways to get business now, because the cool thing about Facebook ads is even if you don't even have a Facebook page, even if you don't have a carpet cleaning business, you've never done carpet cleaning, you could literally go from, and this is what I did. This is exactly what I did. I literally went from idea to prospects contacting me within 24 hours. You make a Facebook page, that takes you a couple hours. profile picture, background picture, make a few posts, and then I can start a campaign. And that's going to take a couple of hours to set up, maybe depending on your skill level, and then click launch. From that point, depending on my budget, I can have people contacting me, submitting their information within hours. Within 24 hours, I can have people contacting me. Now it's my job to then follow up and book those appointments. So people are saying the leads suck, but it's like, yeah, the leads, some of them suck, but that's what we're doing is treasure hunting. We're not trying to make customers, we're trying to find the customers. If they're not interested, if they have low intent, kick them to the curb. Maybe even you only book 1 out of 10. That'd be a little extreme. You want to get higher than that, but maybe you book 1 out of 10. But as long as the numbers work financially, what do I mean by that? Dollars in, dollars out. If I spend $100 to generate leads for my business and I generate 10 leads, only one of them is a good lead, but that one lead, I get a $200 appointment. Okay, that's not ideal, but that is a 2-to-1 return on ad spend. Even if I break even, I'm going to continue to do that because, especially if I'm beginning, because I know there's a concept called lifetime value. And if I can get a customer into my ecosystem and they can purchase and I perform good work for them, they're going to now follow me on social media. My database, I'm going to contact them again and I can get them to purchase once or twice or 3 times or 4 times. Then I can go from a 2x to a 6 if I know how to keep them and maximize my lifetime value. So I'm okay even to break even on the front end of Facebook ads. That's okay with me because I know that I'm going to make it back on the back end, that I'm building a business. I'm building a book of business. Those people are going to give me reviews. They're going to interact on my social media. They're going to send me referrals. They're building up my entire ecosystem and I'm building a business. And that's the so Facebook ads, yes, they can be lower intent, but that's the nature. And if you understand that what you're doing is list building and you attack that list, you call, oh, the leads don't. My favorite one that I hear is, oh, the lead didn't pick up. These guys don't pick up. You got to freaking call these people. You need to follow up with these people until they tell you to F off.
Yeah, I agree. Let me ask you a question on Facebook. Can you run a Facebook campaign? Are you able to capture their phone number or is that part of your form or how does that work? How are you getting their contact information? A lot of people won't know that. I don't know that.
Yeah. So there's a few different ways you can do that. The way that I do it is through a native in Facebook lead form. So the 2 main ways you can capture their information, one is to send them to a website. And that website, just like in Google Ads, you ask, they fill out their name, the email, the phone number, and whatever else, and you click send. The other way is a native in-app lead form. And what this is, the reason why this is so amazing is for a few reasons. One is it takes 0 setup. Yes, there's a little setup, but you don't have to make a website. There's no tech involved. All you got to do is make the lead form in Facebook, and it just takes a couple of minutes to do. So you don't have to worry about having a perfectly optimized website, perfectly optimized for design. That's a whole science in itself. Millions and millions of dollars have gone into how do I make go from a 2% conversion rate to a 2.5% conversion rate. Okay. But you don't have to worry about that in Facebook lead forms, native in-app lead forms. So the cool thing is a couple of things. One is you have fast load times because it's it's native to the Facebook app. So there's no load time. It's instantly loads. The second thing is that the information a lot of times is auto-filled. It pulls from the contact information in your Facebook profile. And the third thing is you don't have to optimize for conversions. It's automatically 100% optimized. And you can actually change the lead quality by the amount of questions that you put in the lead form. So a lot of people will say, oh, the leads are low quality. That's fine, but you can do something. You have levers you can pull. If I just have them fill out the automated autofill stuff, the name, email, and phone number and stuff like that, it's automatically filled. The intent of that lead is going to be lower because they didn't have to do any work to actually submit that lead. That's why Google is so high, because they have to manually type in their stuff. If they go through that process, they're going to be very high. So what I do is I actually add a couple of questions in there, making it a little bit harder for them to fill out their lead form. And I know that if they make it through that process, they're going to be a much higher quality lead. So when too many leads, I want to actually decrease the amount of leads that I'm receiving and increase the quality. That's why I always laugh when I see people that put like that flex, oh, I got $2 per lead, $2. Nobody cares about the lead cost. All they care about is the customer acquisition cost. How many leads, how many of those crappy $2 leads did you have to go through in order to get one customer that actually converted.
It's a very good point.
Or
Let me ask you a question really
Yeah.
quick. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Are people reluctant to put in their phone number, or are they pretty good about it?
Like I said, I use the autofill for the contact information, so they don't have to type it in. It's just they click next and it's already in there.
How do they get their phone number? So is that from their Facebook profile or something, or?
Yep, it's the autofill contact information. So it pulls it right from their Facebook profile, the name, email, and phone number.
Interesting. That's good info. That's really good info.
Native
So as I say really quick, what's good here is that you have two different avenues that people can pursue immediately for business, right? Like you said, and what Reuben talked about earlier, is that with Google, you have a different animal in terms of your prospects, people that are really wanting the service, and you're going to pay more per lead, but you're going to have a higher conversion rate and a higher ticket average in general. Whereas with Facebook, and you have some really good points here, Alister, but also you're dealing more with by default price shopping in a way, because you have to have a value, right, to get them to go to the forum and all that. And you have to obviously have some salesmanship when you're out there on the job, which is another conversation. But I think those are two other great opportunities that we have that people can do right away. And if anybody's just say really quick, both Reuben and Alister are really good at helping people out with getting these calls. Reuben with the Google stuff and Alister with the Facebook stuff. So if you have any questions, reach out to them. I just want to say that really quick. Reuben, moving on. So in addition to the Google stuff, what else would you recommend? We talked about the phone calls, talked about the texting, talked about the emails, and we talked about Google. What other suggestion would you offer them? And ask Alister the same thing that they can do to start drumming up some business now. What immediately comes to mind?
I think neighborhood groups are big. If you're not active in your neighborhood groups, whether that's on Facebook, Nextdoor, wherever your neighborhood group may be, you need to get in there. Most neighborhood groups are pretty friendly to actual local businesses. So like you could try to join every neighborhood group in your entire area and try to promote your business that way. But if you start in your actual local group where you live, then they tend to be pretty friendly to you sharing your business. But even better strategy, your customers are all in neighborhood groups too. And their odds are already talking about services like yours. They're already reading posts where people are recommending landscapers, house cleaners, carpet cleaners, pool techs. So if you are constantly the person who is recommended for carpet cleaning in your area or tile cleaning or whatever it is that you offer, if your name pops up 3 out of 5 times when people ask, hey, who's the best carpet cleaner in, Cincinnati, then you're going to book a lot more jobs than the average cleaner. And you can get your customers to post about you. You can ask them to post about you. People will just do it out of the kindness of their heart. You can incentivize them if you want to, but those referrals from happy customers of yours that are already out there and in their neighborhood groups, them just posting in a group and saying, I just had so-and-so at my house. He did an amazing job on my carpet. If they post a picture with it too, that's gold. That's going to get you jobs instantly. Jobs from that.
That's really good. That's really smart. I'd say, let me add that really quick before I get to Alister. I would start a Facebook group or a Nextdoor group. Then I would focus on property rentals and property for sale. And I would rope every realtor and property management company into that group. You would have had to call them and invite them an email. And I would make myself a value to those realtors and to those property management companies where they would want to use me. You see what I'm saying? Like Absolutely. I'd really try to create a value relationship where I have this big group, not unlike Pad Life in some respects, to be perfectly frank, and where you would have it where you're basically showcasing different properties and you're talking about the property managers and the realtors. That would go a long way. And I think they would really reward you for that. So Alister, go ahead.
Yeah. The only other thing, the thing I'll say is like 90% of my business comes from what we talked about already. That's what majority of people here should be focusing on is advertising. And there's going to be a long tail of other things. And I've tried it all. I've tried Angie. I've tried Nextdoor, done organic. I've done referrals. I've done it all. But I don't focus on that stuff anymore because 90% of my business comes on Google and Facebook, 90%. So there's a million other small different things. But if anyone's listening to this, wanting to know how to increase their business, I would say you double down on the paid advertising. Like you got to play the game. And there are a lot of people that have done a lot of successful businesses without advertising, and that's great. If you have time and you have to either earn it or you're going to pay for it. You can buy it or you can earn it, right? Russell Brunson, Traffic Secrets, he says you can earn traffic or you can buy it. Earning would be like the organic stuff, and then buying it is you can literally just pay for this stuff. So there's a long tail of things you can do, but I'll say that focus on paid advertising. That's my recommendation. But one other tip I had that we did talk about today is a lot of people are posting on their social media, Facebook, Instagram, and on groups and stuff. But one place that a lot of people neglect is posting on their Google profile. So their Google profile, and one of the ways that I help people do this is I use High Level, this app. I have a white label for my clients, and there's a social media posting tool. So instead of manually going on these different platforms, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Google, you can post one time and have it go to multiple platforms. And that's one way you can make sure that you include the Google profile as part of your regular posting. Google's going to favor you more because that profile is active. So even if you aren't getting tons of reviews and you're just starting out, then that's going to signal Google this is an active profile. Let's move them up a little bit in the rankings.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Really smart. Really smart. Reuben, really quick, I'm going to keep it. And then I got a question for both of you. Calvin Martin asks, and you might know as well, sorry. How do you feel about advertising on Nextdoor and Facebook? We already talked about Facebook. Let's focus on Nextdoor. Do either of you have any experience or have any clients that have used Nextdoor for paid advertising?
I have not done it personally. I know I have clients that have done Nextdoor paid ads. I have not heard anybody raving about it. I think I've heard from most people that they didn't really feel like it did much for them, but it didn't cost them all that much either.
Nextdoor is an interesting place because people on Nextdoor love being on Nextdoor. And it's like almost like a weird kind of community. Like, it's hard to explain.
It's a cult, you mean?
It is. It's a strange. And they'll use that. They don't use Yelp. They don't use Google. They don't use anything else. But they love Nextdoor. But I never really see like sponsored ads showing up the way. I don't know how you really get yourself out there on Nextdoor other than by referral. Alister, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I've actually had a
Sorry, start again.
Okay. Yeah, I've actually had a reasonable amount of success on Nextdoor. There's two main ways you can use Nextdoor. One is to just post organically. So just posting your before and afters, posting that you're available for service. That's a great way to do it. I've had some success with that, and some of my clients have had success with that. There's also ways to sponsor. So you can sponsor a zip code. You can sponsor communities for as little as like $100 a month, something like that. And we've had luck with it. The problem is, like I said, I just focus on what, like, the bulk of my business comes from Facebook and Google. So I just double down on what works. And there's a long tail of 10%. Like I had a positive return on Angie sometimes and on a couple other platforms. I just don't focus on them because I'd rather focus on what already is like giving me the highest return on investment personally. So Nextdoor it's one of those things, like if you're desperate for business, I don't want to use the term desperate, but if you need to make something happen for yourself, then that's one of those things you absolutely should be doing because it's an avenue that you need to explore if you're in a dire situation. But yeah, so I've had reasonable success with it. You can either post organically or you can sponsor zip codes, stuff like that.
Got it. Great info. Reuben, Anthony's asking, you've had so opinion on Yelp in the past. Is there any special insight? He's asking if you have any insight you can share on Yelp. And then I'll ask Alister the same thing. Go ahead.
My issue with Yelp is I have a few issues, but I won't get into all of them. It's my issue with the leads at Yelp is that my experience is that they're non-responsive, that you'll get leads through Yelp. You'll respond to leads, a couple leads a day, and you get 0 responses or 1 response from sending a response to 6 leads. Like, just crazy low response rates. That's been my experience. I've heard that from other people. It could be because leads are being shared with other cleaners in the local area, and it's just you're not getting to them fast enough because somebody else is instantly on the phone, calling them, instantly responding to them, like whatever. But that has been my experience. So I don't typically recommend Yelp. I will say the same thing Alister said. There are people out there making money with it. I have clients right now who run Yelp ads. One of my bigger clients runs Yelp, Facebook, and Google. Google's his highest return on investment. Yelp is number 2, and I think Facebook's number 3, but he doesn't do as much Facebook. He spends a lot more on Google. So Yelp does work for some people. It doesn't work for everybody. So if you're going to try it, be responsive to the leads. But if it doesn't work for you, I would try to cut your losses and move on to something else and try to find something that does work better for you.
Yeah. Alister?
For me, Yelp has been the one that I absolutely have had the worst experience with. Yelp has been the one that pissed me off the most out of everything I've tried. I've spent money on Yelp and just nothing, and the worst. Okay. That's my experience. But just like Reuben, I do know people that are successful on Yelp. So just because, and I hear this all the time, like when somebody will go in a group and they'll be like, hey, I'm thinking about doing Facebook. What do you guys think? And then in the comments, everyone's like, Facebook is shit. You'll first, don't do it. Same with Angie, right? Angie's the worst. Whatever. Like, guys, don't listen to anybody. Don't listen to anybody. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to Reuben. Don't listen to Damon. Don't listen to anybody. You need to have your own experiences. Okay. And listen to me this time. Okay. Listen to me now. Go out and try this stuff yourself. All right. Spend $300 on an advertising platform and try it. Try it. If you spend $300 your very first time and you land one deal and that deal's worth like $200 or $150, that's a win. Now continue to try. You lost $150. Now see if you can optimize to get 2 jobs. But you got to try it yourself. Don't listen to what other like sour cleaners that have bad experiences, trying things trying things improperly, whatever they did. All right. Go out and try it yourself. Spend a little bit of money, spend a little bit of effort. It's an investment, right? Spend $300 on Yelp. Let's see what it does for you. And even after you've tried it, there may even be opportunity to work with an expert. Like you may say that you've tried Google, you may say you tried Facebook and they didn't give you results. There's a lot of things that could have gone wrong in your experiment. There still could be potential. So as an entrepreneur, you got to keep an open mind and you need to be willing to invest for yourself and try things out yourself. But personally, I had terrible experience with Yelp and I won't try them again.
We hear that from a lot of people all day long.
Lovely too. I love getting calls from their salespeople.
Yeah, that's always wonderful.
Well, the freaking worst. I can't stop, please.
Yeah, they're relentless. Exactly. Good, maybe for carpet cleaners, I make calls to their prospects and their old follow-ups.
Yeah.
Hire your Yelp rep to cold call for me.
Well, the better your like this is the thing. There's 3 main key parts to business, right? You have your offer, your product, you have your marketing, and you have your sales. All right. The marketing is like your lead generation, getting clients in. Your sales is what converts those leads, and your offer is what you're selling. If you have a really great offer, then you probably don't need to have as great of marketing and sales. And so the fact that they're being so aggressive just goes to show like they really need people because the product really just maybe is not that great.
Yeah. I got another question here, and this is a good one. It's actually something I was going to bring up. The yard signs, telephone pole signs, and all that stuff. I know those work. I know cleaners. What's that?
Bandit signs.
Bandit signs, exactly. What are your thoughts on those, Reuben? I'm going to ask you the same thing, Alister. Go ahead, Reuben.
I hear they work, man. I hear they work. I hear be careful. Look up the laws in your area to make sure that they're friendly and you're not going to get a big fine when your signs get picked up and collected by the city in the morning. Some places are like where I live right now. There's signs on a lot of the corners here for pressure washing, carpet cleaning, everything under the sun. People bring in business through these signs. I was reading a thread on Twitter not long ago where somebody actually ran a test with this and they got a whole bunch of calls. I think it was for tree trimming or something like that from their yard signs. And all they did, they literally put like tree trimming in green letters and a phone number under it. And that's it. That's the whole sign. Get creative. Carpet cleaning and your phone number, right? Yeah, literally get 100 of those, go stick them out, be prepared to lose some of them, be prepared to have angry competitors or just people rip them down. That's part of the game. But I hear that they are effective and they will drive phone calls for you.
Yeah, Eric is a big proponent of them. And I know Anthony here just commented really quick, just FYI. Oh, oops. Oh, I'm wrong one. I just spent $400 on yard signs. Yeah. I got one job after posting up 30 signs out of 50 and got a $600 job. Very nice. That's good. Alister, what are your thoughts on bandit signs and yard signs?
I've done them a couple times. I personally am scared to do yard signs. The one time I tried them, I kept getting calls. I got calls from like the city, from the university.
You're in California, right?
And not only am I in California, but I'm in a very small town, like a very small town. Like our population within 30 miles is like 40,000 people. Nice. Very small. It's a very small community and it's easy to piss people off. I have heard people have amazing success with it. I interviewed a guy that does Christmas light. He did $1.3 million in 3 months. And he, like most of his business comes from yard signs. He's in Atlanta, Georgia. And so people have amazing success with it. I just, you gotta be careful. Depending on the city, depending on where you are, you can get in big trouble for them. You can get fines. You can get pissed off customers, pissed off property owners if you don't put them in the right place. That's what I'll say about that. I think that it's, as with anything, it's worth trying out. But yeah, just be prepared.
No, I agree. I think you have to have something that Reuben kind of touched on earlier as well. Is you want to have a nice sign, something that looks really pro. That's going to encourage people to call. So you want to make it look as nice as possible. But yeah, you're rolling the dice a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth trying. I think it's probably hit and miss, like you said, Alister, depending on where you live, on the size of the population, and
For sure.
I bet the Christmas light signs work well, and I have one.
Let's say you have a nice Christmas
right
light
now.
sign with all the different colors and the lights and all that.
Yeah, that's what we had. We had a little bit of some Christmas lights. And
Yeah.
Built-in goodwill with the Christmas light signs too, because people are going to see that, and for the most part, they're not going to get angry about Christmas. Those lights, I want my house done.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's and also again, exterior service. I'm a big believer that anything exterior, you could do more in your face marketing. If you're not in their home, they're not as reluctant to do business with you without maybe having to do some back research first. Again, in my experience, like with Alister doing his door-to-door stuff initially, that was all exterior work primarily, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really believe that people, if you go door-to-door and stuff, you can do it for interior work, but I believe that definitely having exterior services helps when you're doing more face-to-face or even yard signs and stuff like that. Just my opinion. But any more questions, everybody? Oh, here, hold on. Garrett Coleman. Has anyone ever tried setting up booths at conventions or farmers markets and selling or giving away spotter bottles? So let me say it really quick. The theme of this conversation is more about making your phone ring now, which that won't. But that aside, let's answer this one very quickly. Reuben, do you have any clients or did you ever do that yourself?
I know I have clients that do it again, and I think they enjoy doing it. So whether they book a lot of jobs from it or not is like secondary to the fact that they like getting out into their neighborhood and meeting their community, and they think that it brings a lot of goodwill. So I think if you come at it from that perspective, then you'll probably get a lot of enjoyment out of it. If you're going to do it, have some kind of an offer, right? Be able to give away a coupon, a gift card, something, have them sign up for a raffle, win something, have some reason for them to give you their info, right? You want to be able to generate leads if you're going to do an event like that, not just sit at the booth all day and wave at people as they walk by. Have some reason for them to stop and talk with you. I have not personally done it for when I have my cleaning business, but I will tell you that events are very powerful. People go to events with the intention of networking and talking to other people. And if something catches their eye and interests them, but especially like local farmers markets, people go with money in their pocket. They want to buy local. They want to meet local people. And if you're the local guy, great. Seems like a good fit. I don't know if it'll make the phone ring today, but I think that it could work for you. Alister, I'm really curious to see how this has worked for you.
Yeah.
Actually, one of my first jobs was I used to work at events for a solar company, and that was their main way to generate business. So here's the play that we used to run. We would sign up for events, and this was in San Diego. There was tons of events every single week. There's shows, there's farmers markets, you don't even know about half the events that go on. But if you're like looking for them, there's tons of events every single weekend. So we had a whole events team. We would set up a booth, basically a table or maybe a tent, and we would bring like a display of some sort. And then the objective is to book estimates. That's it. We would get customers' name, phone numbers, book a tentative time. And then we got back to the office, we'd call, confirm the appointment, and send it to the sales team. The sales team would go out and quote them a solar project and then sell it. And that was their primary way of doing business. So it can work. It's probably going to depend on your business model. I will say another way to do events, which is something I'm working on with my marketing business, is I am hosting the party myself. I'm hosting the event myself. So what I've been doing is I get a room full of 50 or 60 people in a room, and then I give them value and talk to them about how to do their marketing, how to do Facebook ads. The name of the event I've been running is Facebook Ads Secrets. And then people come to my event, they're my target demographic, and I provide some sort of value for them. And then there's an offer if they would like to continue learning to work with me. So that's not exactly how you can do it right now, but it's a super easy play if you know how to run it. You just run Facebook ads. You say, hey, this is this event. And so you think about who the people in your target demographic would be and what kind of value you could provide. One great one for home services could be a real estate networking event, right? Realtors, a lot of them are sitting on their hands too. Come meet other realtors in the area, other service providers in your area at this free networking event. You get 50, 100 people into a room, and basically you sponsor the event. You can have people sponsor the event. You can bring a speaker on, and then you can just tell them about your products and services. So that's what I've been doing. So you can actually like own the event and host the party yourself. But I do know that for some people, these events can be very profitable as well. You have to use them as a way to collect leads and then follow up with those leads. basically how you do it.
Yeah, no, that's great. You're bringing in people primarily via Facebook as you're running?
Yep. What I'm doing is I have an Eventbrite page. I make an Eventbrite page, and then I run Facebook ads to the Eventbrite page, and then they will sign up for the event, RSVP. We're gonna send text
It's
messages.
free, right? It's a free event. You're not charging at the door.
Yeah, exactly. It's a free event. You can call them to confirm their 10 minutes. Hey, we're just getting the head count. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a great event. Pump up the event a little bit, get people to show up. And then yeah, you have a networking event, a little party, if you will, and you are the host and you will get to be control of the messaging and communication that happens at that event.
That's awesome. How many people do you get turning out on average?
Let's see. I did an event 2 weeks ago and we got 60 people to come out, which was awesome. I just posted a video of that event. That was pretty fun. And then I did another event just this past Saturday, and we had 15 people show up. And awesome. Yeah, it's great. That 15 people event, I only advertised for 5 or 6 days leading up to that event. And so obviously if it had been a longer lead time, then it would have been better. But yeah, we could only fit 25 people in that room anyway. So it was nice that it was smaller. But then making sales and meeting people, and magic happens when you get people together. So if you can be the one that's responsible for making that happen, whether it's a Facebook group, whether it's an event, whatever it is, then you can control the communication, and that's gonna shake more hands. More hands, you have more opportunities.
That's a great idea. We put on Incapalooza every year, and that's beneficial for Incap Store, obviously, and that's a similar way of thinking. And I totally agree. Wow, it's already been over an hour. Can't believe it. Hour and 8 minutes, and then we had to wait 10 minutes to even be able to get on live. Is there any final thoughts, Reuben? I know we were talking more about the door-to-door, but we didn't touch about that earlier, so I don't know if we need to go too deep on that again. But any final thoughts in general, Reuben, on this conversation, and anything you want to add?
Alister, you were touching on mindset earlier. I think mindset's really important. There's always things that you can do to improve the situation. There's things you can control, and dwelling on what's going wrong is never the solution. So you're entrepreneurs. You get up every day and you put on your big boy pants and you go run your business. And so there's always something that you can do to make the phone ring, or to make an outbound call and book an appointment. Hell, at this point, I'm starting to think maybe you guys should start a Facebook group for your local area to buy, sell, trade furniture, right? A lot of you guys clean upholstery. Get a buy, sell, trade furniture group going, and offer to, plug your upholstery cleaning services in your group once a month. There you go. There's an idea.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Anything to do with property is really helpful as well, just because people are always looking for a place to live, this, that, and the other, and you can kind of type. But yeah, buy, sell group is actually a really good idea too. Alister, final thoughts.
Yeah. One thing I'll mention is that your growth really starts to accelerate when you start to admit to yourself that you don't know everything, and you realize that we don't have that much time on this earth, right? We're all going to expire very soon. And it is our responsibility, our duty, and our obligation to achieve the goals that we set out for ourselves as quickly as possible, right? And one of the ways you can do that is by leveraging the knowledge of other people and by working with the coach. You mentioned in your group earlier, I mentioned in my group that I've spent more money than most people in your, probably like majority of your people in your group will probably spend more money than all of them combined. And the reason why I love coaching so much is because they can actually buy you time back in your life. So if I were going to figure out Google by myself and rewind by 10 years before I ever tried Google, it might take me 3, 4, 5 years before I'd master this and figure it out on my own. And as a result, it pushes back the timeline of my success, that goals that I set out for myself by 4 or 5 years. And if I can work with somebody like a Reuben that knows exactly what I need to do to fast track my success and pull in the timeline that I set for myself, and I can achieve my goals sooner. I don't want to achieve my goals when I'm 60 years old. I want to achieve my goals like as soon as possible when I can still enjoy them. Because who knows if we're even going to be here in 30, 40 years, right? Figure out how you can shift your timeline up, and you can buy time with cash. Because if I can pay for skills by working with the coach to accelerate my growth, then I can pull in my timeline and I can achieve my goals sooner, then I'm going to have a happier, more fulfilled life. So don't be afraid to work with somebody that's a coach. Like I have, quick example, I spend $500 a month on an accountability coach. I meet with this person once a week. All we do is we talk about what goals I set up for myself for this coming week. Did I accomplish previous goals for the previous week? Why are these goals important to me? And this person sends me text messages to help me keep me accountable. I work with another coach that's specific to home services. I'm in the Conquer program. one-on-one coaching, meet with this person every week for 30 minutes as well. Another coach I have is helping me launch my marketing and coaching business, because I don't want to figure it all out for myself. There are people that have the information already. Why am I going to spend the next, like, how many years figuring it out for myself when I can just go acquire these skills? I can pay for them with cash. Cash is wealth, is basically an abundant resource. It's infinite resource. There's no limit. There's enough for all of us. Time, on the other hand, will expire, and there's a finite resource. So I would rather trade my infinite resources for finite resources to live a more fulfilled life. So don't be afraid to seek out help. Don't be afraid to seek out coaching. Think of things as dollars in and dollars out. Get out of this W-2 salary mindset. Your salary mindset is I'm making $10,000 a month, and every dollar that I spend is taking out of that $10,000. But as an entrepreneur, when you find ways where you can put $1 in and get $2, $3, $4 out on the other end, you make that investment every single time, and you don't stop until you reach your goals. That's what I say to you.
That's awesome. No, great. Gentlemen, thank you very much. It was a great conversation. I think the people watching enjoyed it very much. We'll have it up on YouTube within the next day or so. If anybody wants to learn more about Google and how to really convert more calls and build campaigns with a hard ROI, great conversion, that would be Reuben at BookCleaningJobs.com. Alister, he'll be more than happy to talk to you about door-to-door marketing, Facebook marketing, and a lot more. Where should they go? Alister.com?
Alister.com. Add me on Facebook. Let's keep in touch. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of.
He has his own name domain. Can you believe that, Reuben? Alister.com. What are the odds?
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I don't even have
That's pretty incredible. Yeah. What have your parents bought it for you? Isn't that
my parents bought all. Yeah, we have 3 sisters, and my mom. My dad was like in the .com bubble. He was like buying up domain names like it was real estate.
No, that's really forward thinking though. If you think,
that's a great story, man. That's
actually
25 years. Had it since I was a kid.
That's good. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Great conversation. Again, anybody needs help, reach out to Reuben or Alister or both. And I think we'll see both of these gentlemen at Incapalooza in 2025 as well. So it'll be a lot of fun. All right, we will talk again, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.